What's going on, sports card hobby family?
Just got to a point where the only thing we could do was call for an intervention.
We are back again for another video. Is Geoff Wilson setting himself up in CardsHQ for failure?
So every time I have a mail day, in order to tell if the slab is real, I lick the slab.
In 2024, we will dive in. Hello friends, back again. If you're new here, you're looking for daily sports card collectible style videos or just about daily, then you have come to the right place. Make sure to hit the subscribe button down below so you don't miss a thing. Huge thanks to today's video sponsor, DC Sports 87. You might want to sell cards and just don't feel like packaging and don't feel like listing and doing all the stuff. You can just ship everything off to DC Sports 87. They will handle all the auctions for you. And as auctions end and payments coming in real time on the website, you will see it all happening. Very easy to request payment. DC Sports 87. Make sure to check them out. All right, our friend Geoff Wilson, Lonzo,
Oh, hey guys.
was just on last night talking with his CardsHQ partners about strategy and some different things, and maybe how people don't realize the overall vision of what CardsHQ is. And I've heard him kind of talk a few different things. There's a couple little tricks up his sleeve that he's going to reveal probably here over the next few weeks. But the one thing that he touched on in this video yesterday is kind of a big picture idea that it's either going to have legs and take off. It's a big bet on live selling.
We're not just planning on sitting back and being in a studio doing breaking or live selling in the traditional way, right? We have multiple methods, and why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I mean, there's three different methods. You know, the first one is breaking, and you know, we are still kind of working through that process strategically. You know, I think we're leaning into, yeah, we definitely want to do team breaks, we definitely want to do personal breaks, right? And we have the space to do both potentially. We'd like to do both eventually, but we got to start one route. The other one is kind of what we did during the virtual holiday card show was the auctions aspect, right? Value auctions out of the studio, selling cards more traditionally, just like other streamers. You're kind of sitting at a table selling cards. And then the most important aspect of our business is the selling in the aisles, like we've talked about. And you kind of touched on it. Like a lot of people don't really understand what we mean by that. Ryan and I get a lot of questions at card shows. That's like the biggest question we get. Like, you're going to be live 24 hours. You're selling from your aisles. Like, what does that mean? You know, we touched in our video about these special showcases we developed, and the cards are being vertical instead of being flat. And, you know, so we're able to take a camera and go up and down showcases and show these cards. And the primary focus is that, you know, obviously you touched on entertainment, right? And how these live sellers need to be entertaining, but that kind of wraps into the customer experience, right? And, you know, going to a local card shop, wherever you're from, is an experience. Like, people enjoy going to hobby shops. And so we want to replicate that hobby shop experience virtually online, for then you can shop just like you're shopping in the store.
Or it could be something where it could be a big time struggle, and it'll just depend on how quickly can they ramp up this retail business, because that's really what it is. And when you listen to him talking about it, it just shows you that, you know, breakers, card sellers, live sellers, they're looking to hire salespeople, entertainers. They want people that can get online, can get in front of camera, and they can sell, and they can be engaging, because they want the card shop physically when you're in there, of course, to be an experience, but also to be able to sell anywhere on the planet. And the one thing he talked about yesterday, I'm glad he kind of touched on it, because it's exactly the thing that I was thinking. If they are successful, not only do they have to have the demand for all of the live selling that they want to do, but the big question mark is going to be inventory. Do they have enough inventory, and do they have the right inventory? And that's going to be really tricky. Of course, if they're selling globally, he had mentioned China and India are very good at live selling, where they've got virtual retail shops that are set up that are not necessarily the huge focus being on in-store purchases. It's a lot of live selling purchases that they are doing virtually. And he thinks that this store could be an inspiration to just retail in the United States, meaning like if you have a boutique clothing store, he named as an example, then you can be live selling, this sort of thing as opposed to just waiting people to walk into your retail location. I really like the idea of live selling, and even though I've never done it, I'm not necessarily good at it. I should probably give it a shot. But I like the idea. If you have a retail space, you're reliant, historically, you're reliant on foot traffic. You're reliant on location. And so if you're not as reliant on foot traffic and location because you've got a great live selling business, then that's a huge advantage compared to your competitors who are just sitting behind the counter and really hoping and praying that somebody comes in and buys something at their retail location. Now, don't get me wrong, his location is very good next to the Brave Stadium. He's got a very good location for a card shop, I would think. But, this adds a whole new dimension. Of course, he's going to have the SCI studio there as well. So that's kind of a visual thing for people that are coming in. They're getting to see all the people kind of doing their SCI stuff in there. But you also kind of have to picture it too. Yes, you'll have the live breakers, but you're going to have actual salespeople in there, that are doing live selling through the aisles nationally, of course, but also I would assume globally. I mean, the big challenge that every retail seller, I would think card shop, is they've got specific cards and they are looking for the right collector / speculator / investor to pair with their inventory. eBay's been great at this because, of course, you post on eBay, you've got a lot of eyeballs on eBay, but a live selling platform to where you're able to build up kind of a Rolodex of, okay, we've got, Kevin Durant buyers. We're having Kevin Durant night, or here's Kevin Durant hour, where we're going to go through and we're going to live sell all of our Kevin Durant cards. And it's going to be everything from rookie cards to patch autos and all sorts of different things, inserts. That could actually be really fun and a way to pair, player collectors or sets. Hey, it's 86 Fleer for the next 1 hour. We've got nothing but 86 Fleer cards that you can complete your set with, or if you're looking for a particular player, this, that, or the other thing. And live selling, although that's not a brand new thing, you go back to the Don West days.
Over $1 million in product. It was the #1 seller in the year 2000.
And HGTV, this was a very popular thing where you called in and you ordered stuff. And remember, the entertainment, the experience, is exactly the reason why breaking is so popular. Yes, of course, there's kind of the excitement of, I could get this cool card out of this break. But the other part of it is they really like the energy. The people that are buying into breaks, they like the entertainment value. There's the energy, the camaraderie. You're rooting for these people. You're rooting against other people. There's a huge entertainment value that maybe it's not something that I get into, but I understand the appeal. I understand what draws people into it. And this is really, really no different, except separate from breaking. You could just do it on the single side. And that's what exactly like companies like Channel Sponsor, whatnot, they've gotten huge doing this sort of business. So what does that tell you? The demand is there, whether you like it or do it yourself. The demand is absolutely there for live selling, and this will be a very fun and interesting way to see how a card shop that historically has just been like every other retail location where you're just kind of, again, you're trying to pick location, you're hoping that you get enough traffic.
This business quickly became a lot of work. I thought it would be this simple thing.
This store in particular is going to be more focused around live selling and being able to sell anywhere on the planet. And again, the one thing that Geoff pointed out that's going to be the biggest challenge, and I think to where he has got to absolutely make sure that he's set up, and it's going to be a massive investment, is he's got to have the inventory. He's got to have all sorts of different inventory. His shipping department, if everything's going well, his shipping department should be bigger, should be the largest part of his company. He's going to need a lot of people to constantly be mailing things out. That'll be actually a great sign to know if he's having success, is does he have a lot of people that are shipping out all the time? And I suspect he probably will, but the inventory is going to be really key, especially the starting inventory, because yes, he's going to have some success. Initially he's going to sell, but he's going to sell through stuff. He's going to need constantly more and more inventory, which I think is good news for people that, hey, you're trying to sell off pieces of your collection. You're trying to get out of certain things to upscale into other cards. Places like this that are going to need to pay strong on comps to have that inventory in place. So this is going to be very interesting to watch. As he said, there's a couple more things that he's got up his sleeve as far as revenue generators for the business, but this is the biggest one as far as what's different about this card store than others. And it's going to be that, they want to scale up into live selling all the time. But again, it's just going to boil down to, do they have enough stuff to sell and have the right stuff and be able to connect collectors with the cards? That's always the big challenge, whether you're live selling or selling on eBay or whatever. You've got a particular card, but you got to find that particular buyer for it. But I really believe that even though we're kind of post-boom, I think the demand for cards, given these price points, is higher than it ever has been, period. And I'm talking about whether it be for new product or for singles, just as a whole in general. I think the demand for sports cards, trading cards in general, is at an all-time high. So I know a lot of people, when is this a good time to open a store, a card store? I mean, I'm just looking at product that's selling out at crazy high prices. I'm looking at singles that are selling for huge prices on eBay, all sorts of different things, whether it be rookie cards, non-rookie cards, mem cards, whatever it is, non-sports. People are paying big money for cardboard right now, far more than they were 5 to 10 years ago, even though we're 2.5 years off of the highest prices. So I think that should really tell you something. It's very interesting. We've had this amazing drop in prices and demand has never been higher. It's a very interesting thing. All right, guys, will Geoff Wilson have the inventory to be successful? Will he be able to execute on what he wants? Will he fail? Will he succeed? Let me know in the comments below. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.